The tabletop takeaway.
Game mechanics on display.
Three designers share the stage.
Pick a genre and we'll play.
The tabletop takeaway.
Welcome back to the Tabletop Takeaway. I'm Charlie McCarran,
I'm Trevor Muller-Hagel.
And I'm Ananda Gunaratna.
and we are continuing our trick-taking series with Cat in the Box. So this game is really cool. The idea is kind of like Schrodinger's cat. You're either alive or dead, or as Ananda was saying.
More generally, I just think it's a really great representation of like collapsing quantum superpositions through observation into a single state.
So this atom could be something, but because it's observed, it's...
Right, yeah, it's spread out in a superposition, and then you observe it and it collapses to one state, and now you know exactly what it is.
That's fair.
Uh-huh.
That makes more sense now that you say it while we're recording, which is great.
But it's also a game with number cards in your hand, and you play them and
with cats on them, and they're cute cats doing cute cat things.
But it's very clever, and I wanted to pick it because it has a few things that I like about trick-taking games, in that, one, you're bidding at the start of the round to say how many tricks you want to get. I always like that kind of game. And the other thing that's really cool is the cards in your hand are only numbers. They're not a suit or a color, but they become a color when you play it, and you decide what color it's going to be. So if I play a 4, I place it down in my blue section here on my player board, and that says, this is a blue 4. And then Trevor could play 6, and he puts it in blue. And Ananda could say, but wait, I don't have any blue. Well, what? How do you not have
Charlie's
any blue?
making quotation marks with his fingers.
Yeah.
You heard it in his voice a little bit, too.
And maybe Ananda actually wants to win this trick by playing a red, which is the trump suit. So he could say, no, I don't have any blue anymore, and he covers that up and on his board. And from now on, he has to follow, the laws of what he said, so he can never play blue in the future.
Yeah, you can just short suit yourself at will.
Yes.
Even though you don't have any suits.
Yeah.
Because you just choose.
I mean, you have suits, but you're imagining them.
Yeah.
Yes. And so the other part of this game that plays a big role is there's a big board with a grid in the middle that shows rows of numbers and colors of all the numbers and colors possible in the deck. So it's basically representing what would be in a normal deck.
Yeah.
And when you play a card, so when I said the 4 of blue, I actually put a token out also onto the 4 blue.
Yep.
And then no one else can play a 4 of blue.
Right.
That's already existed now.
Yeah, you observed it.
Yes.
So it's impossible for any other card to occupy that state.
Yep. And this makes for 2 really cool things. So one, you can actually make connections on the board with your tokens, and you'll get more points at the end. If you meet your bid, then you can get 1 point per connected token of yours. So you're trying to get having 4s, for example, is good because then you can connect those 4s. And the other cool thing that kind of goes along with this quantum superposition thing is that you might create an actual paradox. And that means, well, if I can no longer play a card because it's blocked off on the board, I've created a paradox.
Yeah.
And so it feels like it happens about half the time at the end of a round.
God, I felt like it happened to me a lot.
Immediately ends. Yeah. The round immediately ends, and all the tricks you took are actually negative points. So you really don't want to cause a paradox.
No.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I noticed is there are 5 copies of each number, but on the board there's only 4 different colors.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's very likely that a paradox will occur.
It wants you to make a paradox.
It is actively trying to make paradoxes happen.
Now you do discard a card, and at the end you also don't play the last card. So then you're not playing all the cards, but still, it happens a lot of times.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think I see it as sort of a game about considering what is possible given the cards, like what is physically possible to do. Because like if you look in your hand, you want to be very cautious and thinking ahead to think down the road, can I play all these cards? Mm-hmm. Because if I can't play all these cards, then it's going to cause a paradox and I'm going to lose a bunch of points.
Yeah.
So part of the game is figuring out what your cards could be and then declaring them as such.
Yes. And also, like I was saying, it's good to have multiples of the same number because you can make a connection more easily, but the drawback is you're more likely to create a paradox because if other people take up that number, then you're really in trouble if you don't have options.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The thing where you can short yourself at will may sound crazy to people who play trick-taking games, but because you need to be thinking about the paradox, you can't actually just be shorting yourself willy-nilly, right? You've got to consider, okay, could I plausibly actually not have any of this card left if my cards had suits on them? Mm-hmm. The
other thing that's kind of interesting, so you can't bid 0. You always have to bid either 1, 3, or 4 in a 4 or 5 player game, and 2 and 3 player game. Or no, sorry, 1, 3, or 4 in 2 player or 3 player. 1, 2, or 3 in 4 or 5 player game. So basically, I like that they have those restrictions on what you can bid.
Yeah.
Well, and I really love the balance of trying to make a chain. Did we talk about making the chain of what you're claiming on the board? Because having the requirement being that you meet your quota effectively, your bid amount, to be what allows you to get points from the board, I think is a really cool dialogue between those two pieces.
Yeah.
And it actually, strangely, doesn't involve the trick-taking mechanic, because the trick-taking actually doesn't matter in that.
Well, yeah, it's entirely separate. And it is also one of the reasons why this game passes my trick-taker test, because there are times where you don't care about winning the trick, you just want to get a piece down.
You want to meet your bid, or you want to, continue your chain.
Right, well, the bid is the other thing. So I think bidding is popular in trick-taking games.
Yeah.
Bidding, again, being like you say, okay, I'm going to win this many tricks and no more and no less, and then I get rewarded if I meet that bid exactly. And I think one reason it's popular is because it lets games pass the test. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't want to win more than a certain number of tricks, then there are certainly times where you're going to want to lose tricks. So that's a really easy way to make that happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think bidding makes games work well. Just trick-taking games work well in general because, in other games you take on for example, the cooperative ones like the Crew or Crew Mission Deep Sea more so, and the Lord of the Rings trick-taking game, you take a roll card that says like, I'm gonna only win one trick, or I'm gonna win however many tricks, and
preset bid.
Yep.
Yeah, it just makes it it's just a little extra fun thing to do, to strategize based on your hand. And now I have a goal versus just like, win the most tricks. Or So.
Yeah, it's always good to have some kind of mechanic driving you to make your choices, especially with trick taking, having it like, okay, once I achieve my objective, then I need to stop, or you need to ease into your objective so you don't overshoot it. And I think that's a really clever thing to have in trick takers, for sure.
Yeah. The area control thing, where you're trying to make
connections.
Connections reminds me a little bit of Skyrise for some reason, which is a different. That's an auction game where you're placing buildings and bidding on them, and it's just similar in that the location. I guess it's a little bit different in that game. You pick the location very specifically, and then maybe it's not that similar. But I'm just thinking about how you you play cards because you want the spaces, not because you care whether you win the bid.
Well, and just a complete side point, Charlie, you brought up for hearts about the importance of being able to deal with a bad hand. And I think the sub-game between those two, the bid and the area control aspect, helps alleviate that. Because if you can only take one trick, hey, I take one, that's all I need, and then all I need to do is keep everything together. If they're all lower cards anyway,
Yeah,
it
so
should be
people
pretty
might
easy
not
to
be
do.
fighting over it. They maybe discarded their ones because they
Right.
want to get the higher ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just having just something to help offset that a little bit.
Yeah. And this game makes it very easy to offset a bad hand as long as you're wary of paradoxes, because you can
Yes.
just short yourself whenever you like.
Right. And start trumping and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my takeaway is, I think this is like a lot of trick takers games. You need a hook that makes it unique, I think. So,
And I'd say this has it in spades, but there's no spades on it. So.
yep. So I think that's maybe my takeaway for if you're a designer working on a trick-taking game. Think about, like, what is the main hook that makes it different from all trick takers, which most people actually do have something
Yeah.
that makes it different. But how can that thing be really tied into a theme? And they found, like, the cat in the box is a pretty good theme to
Yeah.
get that idea across.
I think the theme in this game is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe my takeaway is the cards that you play in tricks, maybe they should do other stuff when you play them, separate from the tricks. I think that works pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, Arcs sort of does that. Like, in Arcs, you are trying... Well, in Arcs, it's actually more about the effect of the cards than it is about winning the trick, although you do also really want to win the trick, so that you can be the first player and declare your ambition. But...
Spoiler: we aren't doing arcs as our third game, even though
We
it is
heavily
really
thought
cool.
about it.
we can talk about it in the bonus episode.
Sure,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it.
I still need to play it, so I mean,
Yeah,
But my takeaway is have the cards you play in tricks do other things
yeah.
unrelated to winning the trick.
yeah. Could be like in arcs' action
Yeah.
selection,
Yeah,
or whatever.
My takeaway is to play around with suits for trick taking. Like how this approaches suits is really interesting. And obviously it keeps the standard 4-suit concept, which is very familiar. But it takes it and just completely blows it apart with it being customizable for each card that you play. And then you can short yourself in a suit and no longer have that. And play around with having unique concepts for suits and what they mean and what they do, or what, how you interact with them. I think that's a really good takeaway from this one.
Cool. Well, that's Cat in the Box. Tune in next time when we continue our trick-taking series.
Hey, thanks for listening to The Tabletop Takeaway. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. So please tell your friends and visit our website at thetabletoptakeaway.com, where you can suggest games and mechanics for us to cover next on the show.